Have you ever looked at people building successful businesses online and thought, that's cool, but I don't have any skills? Well, let me tell you something that might surprise you. I started a business with zero experience, no fancy degree, no big connections, and it actually worked. The truth? You don't need to be an expert, you just need to be honest, curious, and a little bold. What you think is a weakness might actually be your greatest edge. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how to start a business, even if you feel totally unqualified. My name is Igor. I am a digital strategist, postgraduate in digital marketing, sales and negotiations. This is Migrating, and let's go to the content. When people hear start a business, their mind jumps straight to skills. Coding, design, strategy, marketing, you name it. But let me be real with you. I had none of those. What I had instead was radical honesty. I sat down, no fancy apps or templates, just me and a whiteboard, and asked, what do I actually know? What do I enjoy talking about for hours? Where am I already weirdly useful? That moment of self-awareness, it was the first real asset I ever had in my business startup journey. Most folks think they need certifications or credentials, but what they really need is clarity. I didn't know how to start a business the right way, so I built one around what I already had. One of my unfair advantages? I spoke 2 languages and lived rent-free at my parents' house. That wasn't shameful. That was leverage. While others were grinding to pay rent, I was stacking experiments. Self-employed business doesn't start with skill. It starts with knowing what makes you different. But here's the kicker. Before I earned a single dollar, I had to define what winning looked like. Not what social media says. Not the laptop on the beach fantasy. For me, it was simple. No boss, flexible hours, and enough to travel twice a year. That became my target. Because if you don't define your own version of success, you'll start chasing someone else's and end up burned out, broke, and bitter. Start your own business with a map that actually leads somewhere you want to go. I realized fast that business wasn't just about skill. It was about using what you've got. Maybe you've got time others don't. Maybe you're a night owl. Maybe your brain works differently. All those quirks, that's leverage. I used mine to build an online business, not because I was a genius, but because I could outlast and outlearn others. If you're thinking about how to start a business from home or even a side hustle to business, leverage beats talent every time. Here's a truth bomb. The most valuable things I had were hiding in plain sight. I wasn't gifted. I just paid attention. I had energy, I had Wi-Fi, I had 0 student debt. And I had no kids, huge freedom. That's positioning. When people ask how to start a business with no money, they often miss that time is currency. If you've got it, you're already richer than most. I traded my free hours for experiments, client calls, and building tiny offers that eventually paid rent. When you have no skills, pick a model that forgives your mistakes. That's why I avoided things like web development or financial consulting. I wasn't trying to impress anyone. I wanted stability. Recurring revenue became my North Star. Think subscription-based services, managing newsletters, scheduling content, or running basic online stores. They're not sexy, but they're sticky. And when you mess up, you have another chance next month. That's how I built my first profitable business. A lot of aspiring entrepreneurs think they need to master everything. I didn't. I obsessed. Over fundamentals instead. Every single business, whether you're selling candles or coaching, boils down to people, product, and feedback. You find a real problem, solve it in a clear way, and then shut up and listen. That's it. Every time I made a mistake, I just looped back to those 3. It made everything simpler, especially when I had no roadmap and no mentor. And here's the metaphor that carried me. Starting a business is like learning to swim in the shallow end. You don't dive into the deep with no training. You walk in, feel the water, splash around, and try not to panic. That's what choosing low-investment business ideas is all about. I stayed where I could stand, and when I fell, the water was shallow enough to get back up. Forget perfect. Focus on not drowning. That's the real way you build momentum. Starting out, I didn't look for the fanciest or most profitable business ideas out there. I looked for models that gave me room to mess up and try again. That's why I stayed away from things like reselling or investing. Those eat your money fast. I chose low-risk service models with recurring revenue. Think email newsletter setups, basic Shopify support, or even just organizing files for solopreneurs. These weren't glamorous, but they were consistent. And when I made mistakes, which I did a lot, clients didn't leave. They just gave feedback. Forget the idea that you need to master something before getting paid for it. That's school talking. In the real world of entrepreneurship, it's all about fundamentals. You don't need to be a guru. You just need to solve a problem well enough. I focused on understanding 3 things deeply: people's pain points, what solution they'd pay for, and how to improve that solution fast. No fluff, just feedback, offers, and better timing. This is how to start a business without wasting months learning instead of doing. At one point, I was offering everything to everyone. That felt safe, but it killed momentum. I was too generic to get noticed. The moment I picked a niche, small Shopify stores under 10K a month, everything clicked. I could speak their language, target their forums, and build offers that hit. And ironically, niching down made me more visible. If you're serious about starting your own business, remember, generalists hustle harder. Specialists get referred. Still, I didn't wait to feel ready. I was a sponge. But I didn't just soak. I squeezed. I said yes to real projects way before I felt qualified. Every time I landed a client, I had Google open on one tab and YouTube tutorials on the other. I figured things out as I went. And, weirdly enough, people respected that. They didn't want perfection. They wanted someone who gave a damn. That mindset took me further than any $5,000 course ever could. I didn't go after high-level skills at first. I hunted for no-risk, high-value tasks that anyone could learn fast. Copywriting for cold emails, setting up autoresponders, cleaning up messy spreadsheets, even creating Canva graphics for busy business owners. These side hustle to business ideas weren't complex, but they were needed. And that's the secret. Nobody cares about your resume if you can solve their problem. Better than the next guy. One thing I did that changed everything? I offered value before I was qualified. I didn't wait to become something. I just helped people where I could. I'd send free rewrites of their emails, offer ideas to improve their Instagram bios, help fix broken links on websites. Those tiny acts opened doors, and when they asked him how much do you charge, I knew I'd hit gold. Starting a small business often means being useful before being official. I'll be honest, it was awkward at first. I felt like a fraud half the time, but imposter syndrome is just a sign you're growing. Every successful online business is built by people who felt dumb at first. I learned to lean into it, to treat each dumb question as fuel, and the more I shipped, the faster I learned. Momentum beat motivation. One week, I knew nothing. A month later, I had real clients, not because I knew everything, just because I moved faster than fear. Think of it like riding a bike on a hill. You don't wait to master balance. You push. Wobble, catch yourself, and suddenly you're moving. That's the energy I brought every day. I didn't chase 100K months. I chased one client, one offer, one tiny win at a time. That mindset made the climb feel possible, even exciting. And once you feel that first click, when someone pays you for solving their problem, you'll never look at business the same way again. So, now that you've seen the exact steps I took to build a business with 0 skills, what's stopping you? Are you still waiting for the perfect moment? The perfect plan? Or are you finally ready to bet on yourself, even if it's messy at first? Think about it. What could your life look like in 6 months if you just start today? What would change if you stopped trying to feel ready and started moving with what you already have? If this message lit a fire in you, there's another video on your screen right now that goes even deeper into how to choose the right business model for your lifestyle. Click and dive in. And hey, if this content helped you even a little, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. This channel is all about helping you break free and build smart.